You want to work for the galaxy's most powerful crime lord? Congratulations, you found him. His Excellency Jabba Desilijic Tiure of Hutta, Eminence of Tatooine, 600 years old, 800 kilos of appetites, controls the spice trade, the smuggling routes, and everyone who sets foot in the Outer Rim, but you don't just walk in and get a job, you get acquired. Level 1, Slave. You're not an employee, you're property. Maybe you got caught stealing from a moisture farm. Maybe your family sold you to pay off a debt. Maybe you were just in the wrong cantina when Bib Fortuna's scouts came through. Either way, you're standing in a dark throne room that smells like hookah smoke and rotting meat, watching a giant slug lick his lips. Your job? Whatever Jabba wants. Cleaning, cooking, dancing. Especially dancing. You see that green Twi'lek over there? Ula. Beautiful. Talented. Kidnapped from Ryloth and trained to perform. She's chained to Jabba's throne, and when she dances, the whole palace watches. She's also one bad performance away from the pit, because under this throne room is a trapdoor. Under the trapdoor is a rancor named Patissa, and Patissa is always hungry. When Ula refuses Jabba's advances during one performance, she finds out exactly how hungry. The whole court cheers while she screams. You realize something important that day? In this palace, you don't quit. You don't retire. You don't negotiate. You survive, or you get fed to something. Level 2, Palace Worker. You survive long enough to get actual duties. Maybe you're in the kitchen, preparing whatever meals a Hutt eats. Maybe you're maintaining the droids. Maybe you're cleaning the rancor pit after Patissa finishes with his latest meal. That's Malakili's job, the rancor keeper. He's a big guy, goes shirtless, looks like he belongs in a gladiator arena, but he actually loves that monster, feeds it, tends its wounds, talks to it. When Luke Skywalker crushes Patissa's skull with a falling gate, Malakili breaks down crying. The whole palace is in chaos, and this guy is weeping over a creature that ate people for sport. That's what Jabba's palace does to you. You form attachments to monsters because the monsters are the only thing that won't actively betray you. You learn the rules of survival. Never look Jabba in the eye, never speak unless spoken to, never walk near the trapdoor, and most importantly, never think you're irreplaceable, because every single person in this palace can be dropped through that floor. Level 3, Gammorian Guard. Your muscle now. Well, technically the Gammorians are the muscle, giant green pigmen from the planet Gammor, strong enough to crush your skull with their bare hands, dumb enough to stand at a door for 12 hours without asking why. They're perfect for Jabba's purposes. There are 9 of them working the palace. They carry vibro axes, wear leather harnesses, and smell like a wet bantha in a sandstorm. Your job is to stand next to them, learn their patrol routes, back them up when drunk bounty hunters get rowdy, and maybe, if you're lucky, not get eaten when Jabba needs to make a point. That's what happened to Jubnuk. When Luke Skywalker gets dropped through the trapdoor, Jubnuk the Gammorian falls in with him. The rancor grabs Jubnuk first. The other guards don't flinch. They just keep watching. That's when you understand your value. You're not a person, you're a speed bump. Something to slow down problems long enough for the important people to escape. But you also realize something else. Nobody's checking your pockets. Nobody's counting the food. Nobody's auditing the tribute payments. In the chaos of Jabba's court, there are opportunities. You start skimming. Level 4, Skiff Guard. You proved yourself useful. Maybe you stopped an assassination attempt. Maybe you ratted out someone who was stealing more than you. Either way, you got promoted. Now you work the skiffs. These are the Bantha II cargo skiffs, flat hovering platforms that escort Jabba's sail barge across the Dune Sea. When Jabba wants to execute someone at the Great Pit of Carkoon, you're the one pushing them off the plank. It's a position of trust. You carry a force pike. You wear the uniform. You're part of the crew that transports prisoners to meet the almighty Sarlacc. You've heard the stories. The Sarlacc sits at the bottom of a sandpit, all teeth and tentacles, digesting its victims over 1,000 years. Jabba loves describing this to his prisoners, loves watching their faces when they realize what's about to happen. You've escorted dozens of people to that pit, spies, traitors, smugglers who couldn't pay their debts. You watch them beg, watch them bargain, watch them get pushed over the edge. Then you go back to the palace and drink until you forget. The other skiff guards don't talk about it either. You just do your job, collect your pay, and pray you're never on the wrong end of that plank. Because one day, Luke Skywalker comes to that pit, and everything changes. Level 5, Freelancer. You stopped working in the palace. Now you work for the palace. Independent contractor. Smuggler, the kind of scum that makes Tatooine run. Han Solo was one of you. He had the Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the Outer Rim, made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Jabba's favorite smuggler for years. Then Solo dumped a shipment of spice when Imperial Customs showed up. That's the thing about working for Jabba. You don't get excuses. You don't get the Empire made me do it. You get a debt. Solo's debt started at maybe 12,000 credits. By the time Boba Fett delivered him frozen in carbonite, the bounty was over 200,000. Jabba doesn't charge interest. Jabba charges intent. You learn the math real quick. Every delivery that goes smooth, Jabba gets 60%. Every delivery that goes wrong, you owe 100%. Miss a payment, 20% penalty. Miss 2, bounty hunter. The margins are impossible. The terms are suicide, but it's steady work, and if you play your cards right, you might clear your debt in 20 years, or you might end up as a wall decoration. Solo hung in that throne room for months, frozen in carbonite. Jabba's favorite decoration. You walk past him every day. Try not to look. Try not to think about what happens when you miss a payment. Level 6. Bounty Hunter. You're not regular staff anymore. You're specialized. Bounty hunters come through Jabba's palace like mercenaries at a job fair. Greedo, Dengar, Bosk, Boba Fett. Fett is the one everyone talks about. He's got Mandalorian armor, a jetpack, a reputation for disintegrations. When Fett walks into the throne room, even Jabba's most trusted lieutenants step back. The Hutt pays top credits for confirmed captures. Living targets are worth more. Jabba likes to make examples himself, but dead works too if the bounty's high enough. Your job? Tracking, hunting, delivering. The galaxy is full of people who owe Jabba money. People who stole from him. People who looked at him wrong. You bring them back, you get paid. Simple. Except nothing's simple in this business. Half your targets have protection, half have connections, half will put a blaster bolt through your skull before you can say Jabba sends his regards, and even if you succeed, there's no loyalty. When Fett loses the Carbonite Solo to Crimson Dawn, Jabba puts a bounty on him, his most trusted hunter, his most reliable operator. One failure. That's all it takes. You start wondering if the hunters ever become the hunted. You already know the answer. Level 7. Lieutenant. You made it to the inner circle. Maybe you're Tessic, the Quarren accountant who runs Jabba's books. Maybe you're one of the Nikto captains who control the smuggling routes. Either way, you're in the throne room, you're hearing the real conversations, and you're starting to understand how the operation actually works. Jabba doesn't just run Tatooine, he runs the Outer Rim. He's got deals with the Empire, trading resources for protection, eliminating competitors in exchange for looking the other way. He's got leverage on the Grand Hutt Council. He's got spies in every cantina from Mos Eisley to Nar Shaddaa. This isn't a criminal organization, it's a government. And you're seeing behind the curtain. You learn things you're not supposed to know, like how Jabba feeds information to Darth Vader when it suits him, like how he orchestrated the destruction of 3 rival syndicates just to consolidate shipping lanes, like how every single person in this palace, including Bib Fortuna himself, is actively plotting to kill him. That's the open secret. Everyone hates Jabba. Everyone wants his throne. Everyone's just waiting for the right moment. You realize you could be the one. You could slip something in his hookah. You could arrange an accident during one of his desert excursions. But then you look at the others who've tried. Their bones are being digested somewhere in the Sarlacc's stomach. So you wait, you plot, you pretend to be loyal, just like everyone else. Level 8, Major Domo, your Bib Fortuna now. The Twi'lek with the pale skin and the sharp teeth. Jabba's right hand for over 30 years. The one who whispers in the Hutt's ear and controls who gets an audience. Every smuggler, bounty hunter, and petty criminal who wants Jabba's attention goes through you first. You run the day-to-day operations, you handle the tribute payments, you negotiate with the other crime families. You're the face of the organization when Jabba doesn't want to show his. And you hate every second of it, because you know the truth. You're a slave in fancy robes. Everything you have, the power, the influence, the respect, belongs to Jabba. One bad day and you're joining Ula in the Rancor pit. So you scheme. You cultivate alliances. You protect people Jabba wants dead, banking their loyalty for later. You learn secrets that could destroy the organization. You're waiting for your moment. It comes. When Luke Skywalker's lightsaber starts swinging on the sail barge, you don't fight. You escape. And when Leia Organa strangles Jabba with her own chains, you feel nothing but satisfaction. The slug is dead. Long live the new boss. You take the palace. You take the throne. You take everything. For 5 years, you're the daimyo of Mos Espa. You get your own slave girls, your own guards, your own empire. Then Boba Fett walks in. One blaster shot, that's all it takes. 30 years of patience, 30 years of planning, and you die in the same throne room you spent your whole life trying to escape. Level 9. The Hutt. You'll never reach this level. Nobody reaches this level. Hutts live 600 years. They're born into crime families that have controlled the Outer Rim since before the Old Republic fell. Their power isn't earned, it's inherited. Jabba watched the Clone Wars. Watch the Empire rise. Watch the rebellion flicker. He'll probably watch whatever comes next. He's not afraid of Darth Vader. He's not afraid of the Emperor. He negotiates with Sith Lords like they're business partners. Because to Jabba, everyone is a business partner. Or a meal. That's the final lesson of Jabba's palace. You can climb, you can scheme, you can survive, but you'll never be the slug on the throne. You'll never be the one everyone fears. You'll never control your own fate. You're just another body in the machine, another guard waiting for the trapdoor, another name that gets forgotten when the next Hutt takes the throne. Jabba's criminal empire survived before him. It'll survive after him, and you're just passing through. Or